5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sports on Tap is brought to you by Go To Pro Plumbing, Land and Sea Motorsports, On the Bay Customs Boutique and Cafe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
I don't know what we're yelling about!
I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
Loud noises!
Not a game.
This is the first time in my life I'm glad I'm here.
We're talking about practice, man.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
65.
63. Knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, with loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping. With music that's jaw dropping, they're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening and you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go when all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Absolutely love that. Welcome to this week's edition of Sports on Tap. What is this, episode 10? 9? Who knows?
Yeah, episode 10.
All right.
We'll go with that.
Episode 10?
Yeah, episode
Sounds
10.
good.
I'm pretty sure.
Episode 5, part 12.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure
something like that.
Yeah, 5 part droit.
What? I am Chris Scott, alongside Joe Waddell and Frank Dragata. Gentlemen, how are we?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. Had a migraine,
Yeah.
as I told you guys, but other than that, I'm hanging in there.
Yes, and Frank?
I had a great fucking weekend.
Yeah. So I heard you did have a great fucking weekend.
I had fun. I enjoyed the outcome of all our sports games.
Yeah. I mean, you
I enjoyed other outcomes.
Sports games.
Sports. Yes.
Sportsing.
Honestly, I don't even know where to begin because it's just the state of sports, especially in this state, is
It's atrocious.
oh my god, it's such a. I hate, like, I'm starting to get sick of the term dumpster fire because it's just, I think it's overused. But yeah, I think that perfectly explains it, Joe. I think that absolutely perfectly explains it. Yeah, I believe that is the state of just sports in general in the state of Michigan right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no team that is even remotely good. Like, even remotely good. Or even, even close to being good.
I think the best we have right now is the Tigers, who were close to 500. It might have been just
Right.
over it, if anything.
I mean, it looks like they may have a decent future, but we don't know because
So you're saying there's a chance.
right. But I mean, you look at the Lions game. That was a fucking disaster.
I didn't even bother.
Got to coach
looking at
better. Remember, exactly. Yes.
Got to coach better. Got to keep.
Got to coach
everybody
better
on the field.
Yeah, you might want to have 11 players on the field. Dumb.
So,
How does a fucking franchise do that twice in what was it? 3 years? 4 years now?
No, it's been like 4 times now. It's been like 4 times now.
That's SOL, baby. I mean, if that doesn't explain SOL, I don't know what does.
I don't even. I give up. I don't know.
So they go up to Minnesota and, presumably they shit on the field. That's.
And actually, I think one of the other times was against Minnesota as well.
It sounds about right. Why do weird thing with especially with the Lions? You had that against Minnesota. You had Orlovsky stepping out of the end zone against Minnesota. Yeah. It's just like, okay.
And it's always in a year where we should be able to have a decent game with Minnesota.
No, I mean, when you can't stop a running back, I mean, how are you going to have a decent
I don't
game
think anybody can stop him right now, to be honest.
I was going to say that might be the one thing I don't hold them accountable for.
Like Dalvin Cook just, all right, I'll run for 200 yards. That's cool. I got this.
Yeah, it might be the one thing.
Kirk Cousins, take the day off. I got this.
Right.
Let me rephrase that. Kirk Cousins, don't fuck this up. Just give me the ball.
Well, yeah, I think Kirk Cousins takes a lot of days off.
I actually, you like that?
Like practice days.
Yeah,
he takes all those off.
As long as he keeps handing the ball to Delvin, I don't give a shit about him.
So that was a predictable debacle. Even though you honks think they had a shot to go win it, they didn't stop it.
2 weeks ago, I was one of those honks.
Yeah.
I was very...
I deserve it. Bruh. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I fucking deserve it.
So that was a dumpster fire, and then Captain Khaki Pants goes down to Bloomington and fucking again gets punched right in the face again. And Joe, we were talking about this since we are Michigan fans, and it's just got to the point where it used to be, I guess, appointment viewing that we'd watch Michigan games. So we're Michigan fans, so obviously we want to watch it.
Absolutely. I think there was a big portion of the state
that
was that way.
Right. And I was just got to the point, it's apathy. I don't care. I don't care. I can't, honestly, at this point, if whatever gets him out the door faster, I'm all for.
I was going to say, I do care. I care that I want them to lose. They don't exist to me anymore, though. I didn't watch them on Saturday. I don't plan on watching them again this season. Like we said last week, I'm not a Michigan fan until Harbaugh's gone now. Period.
That's fair.
For me, that's period. I'm done with that team until Harbaugh's gone. Until they make the decision that needs to be made, which the writing's on the wall that it's going to be made.
And the fact that it's not evident to the higher ups that make these decisions that he's got to go. It's just he's not the guy, man. He's just not the guy. How do you not see this? And I know there's a buyout and all that other financial bullshit, whatever. And it's COVID and all that shit. But
what is it with this, with COVID and the fact that nobody wants to fire their coaches during COVID?
Because they're giving their coaches an excuse to just cruise through this year because all the players are going to be coming back. Nobody's losing their eligibility. The coaches didn't have a lot of time to work with their kids, which to me they had enough time. If you're talking about a coach who's been there 6 years, like Jim Harbaugh, you've had enough time. If you're talking about a guy and I always forget it, Mel Tucker, in MSU, then obviously it wasn't enough time. The guy had like 2 weeks with his players. I mean, and that's an exaggeration, but still. If you're talking about Jim Harbaugh, he's had long enough.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And he had long enough because he was there. He didn't just get hired this year like Mel Tucker.
Right.
So you had enough time. I mean, if you want to give excuses that this isn't a real season and you don't take – I'll be honest with you, I don't take it as a real season. We talked about it before the season even started, before Big Ten even played. We agreed. To me, it's a back alley abortion of a season is what it is. It's not a true season to me. We talked about how the baseball season wasn't a true season for us.
I agree with that 100%.
So there's that caveat, but I refuse to give Jim Harbaugh the golden ticket because of COVID.
No, he
Fuck
shouldn't.
That.
There's no way in hell he deserves that.
No.
Like I said, we've been talking, and we've said this numerous times over multiple shows that we felt he should have been gone years ago. Not just this year. Years ago, he should have been gone.
At this point, it's like beating a dead horse.
Yep.
I'm just tired of talking about it, and I'm tired of them going out and losing big games. I'm tired of being a fan of a team that goes out and loses big games constantly.
Every time.
Constantly.
Yep.
He says as he wears a Patriots hoodie. Don't get too excited about the win this week.
JETS.
I like how fast you jumped off the bandwagon.
Oh, I'm not off the bandwagon. I'm just being honest about how dog shit they are. If y'all don't recall, I'm the one who said at the beginning of the year that Stidham was going to be the guy who finishes the year at quarterback, and they were going to be in contention for Trevor Lawrence. So, this is exactly what I.
You're still far off on that. You're still pretty far off on that.
Somehow, yeah, I am.
But yeah, I'm still a fan. I'm not. That's one of the reasons why I wore this shirt, though, is actually because I don't just give up being a fan because a team becomes bad. Like, is New England bad this year? Yeah, they're not good. They're not good.
But like we talked about earlier too, how intentional is it?
Well,
like,
and
I get what everybody says about pro athletes don't tank and all that shit, but.
Chris, you brought up a good point before we even came on the show about.
I have those every once in a while. Yes.
Yeah, about New England possibly tanking that game and just couldn't out tank Adam Gase.
You can't out tank the Jets, man. You can't out Jets the Jets. You just can't because you look at that game last night, and the Patriots had numerous opportunities to chuck the ball downfield, And they could have scored as many points as they wanted to. They could have done whatever they wanted to against that horrific Jets defense.
And they were opening up holes that Damian Harris
Yeah.
and Rex Burkhead could drive a truck through.
Absolutely. But, of course, Belichick, I think he was trying to just matriculate the ball down the field and hoping that at some point the Jets would kind of take over the game a little bit and win.
Or Cam would turn into Cam.
Or Cam would turn into Cam. And you can because you can't out-Jets the Jets. You can't. Because they're coached by Adam Gase.
Like I said, you guys.
My hatred for Adam Gase is just growing to an all-time. He's such a bad coach. I just don't understand how this dude still has a job, even over Matt Patricia. How does this dude still have a job?
I almost want to argue with you though, because like I said last night on our text thread, what happened last night took talent. Like, he had to try to lose that game. You have 4 total plays in the fourth quarter.
That's not good, I don't think.
I don't think he was trying. I mean, I think he actually was trying to do good because he just Adam Gazed himself.
It's like, hey, Flacco, we're up by 10. Here, go ahead, just throw an interception.
What's going to be the really funny part is when they do finish 1-15 or 0-16, whatever, and Trevor Lawrence says, "No, I'm going back to school."
I don't think anybody would blame him. I don't think Adam Gase would blame him.
I wouldn't want to play for the Jets. I absolutely would not want to play for that dumpster fire.
Hell no.
I want to say he was asked about it last week and still gave a very non-committal answer of what he was going to do.
Oh yeah.
So this is a question for you guys. I really don't know this, and I should. Was Adam Gase the person who was there when they drafted Darnold?
You know what? I
thought he was in Miami at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was.
So that would explain why they might actually go after Trevor Lawrence then. But because I was thinking, if he was there when they drafted Sam Darnold, you cannot let him stick around and draft another quarterback. There's no fucking way you can do that.
No, that would be that'd be a suicidal decision.
Yeah,
like organizational suicide to do that.
Speaking of decisions in the draft, that's suicide.
Here's a fun little tidbit for you.
Okay.
He was an offensive assistant on the 05-06 Detroit Lions.
Oh, well,
there you go.
Destined to fail.
Yep.
That was his first NFL job.
You get lionized. You get lionized.
Then he was the 07 quarterbacks coach.
His first NFL job was with the Lions. He got lionized immediately.
Yep.
He's been doomed from the start.
Honestly, amazing he actually worked his way up through the ranks to be a head coach. Honestly.
Yeah, he was in Miami when they drafted Darnold.
Okay.
All right.
He took over in 19.
Gotcha.
The Jets.
So then that would explain why they would actually possibly go after Trevor Lawrence then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of the draft
and
failures in the draft, Tua looked good.
He did. I give it up to him. Again, it's overreaction. 2 games. Okay.
But I like what I saw. And again, we're talking about. I want to talk about the young quarterbacks in the league right now, guys. It's impressive.
It is.
You got Justin Herbert, who's playing out of his mind.
He is.
You got Tua, who looked really good in his first debut.
Kyler
Mahomes. Murray is otherworldly. Kyler Murray is what Lamar Jackson would be if he had accuracy. Like that, Kyler Murray is that damn good.
Yeah.
They need to put some other pieces around that defense.
Yeah.
And maybe that offensive line, and they'd be all right. They'd be damn good. But Kyler Murray to me is just insane, bro.
I was gonna say your boy Josh Allen this past week.
Oh, he had a game.
He had.
I mean, granted, it's against a terrible defense.
And you guys did say that either last week or the week before, and I want to give you guys the credit on that because I definitely thought the Sea Chickens were gonna pull that one out. But
he finally had a game. It actually looked like he knew what he was doing.
Well, you both took Seattle. I took Buffalo because I still had faith in his team and his quarterback.
But you know how he gets when he's a little dejected from his teams.
But again, I was like we talked about
pick against him in spite.
It's either 1 week or 2 weeks or it's short time spans where it's overreaction a little bit.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, especially this year, it's bipolar.
Oh, it's incredibly bipolar.
It's from week to week to week. You don't know what you're getting from some of these teams.
From week to week, from quarter to quarter.
Well, that too.
Well, shit. You look
at the Dallas game.
Well, the Dallas game and the Saints and Tampa game.
Yeah,
it's like nobody saw that coming. Nobody.
Everybody took Tampa.
Everybody.
And when I say everybody, I mean the 3 of us on this show. I mean all the experts on the panel before that show, before the game.
I think Drew Brees took Tampa to win that game.
I think you're right about that.
Everybody took Tampa.
Everybody.
And yet New Orleans comes out and just wallops them.
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of them.
That was a straight up curb stomping. That's exactly what that was. And
I don't even know who. I mean, I'm saying this sarcastically, but who was the quarterback? Was it Taysom Hill? Because Drew Brees doesn't play like that anymore.
But their game plan was genius. He spread it around to like 12 different receivers.
Yeah.
Genius.
I think he hit 9 receivers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's, and I know you don't like him, but I'm going to say that's what having Michael Thomas back does. Mm-hmm. Because teams,
I think he's a great receiver. I don't like him because I think he's a fucking bitch.
Well, he is. But that's what teams do. Having him back was huge, and you can't over exaggerate that part.
No,
of it.
no, I did.
Because having him back was huge. Teams will double team, and will sway coverage towards a guy like that, which means other guys open up, which means more you distribute the ball a little better.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened last night. And if you notice, none of those balls were deep. It's not like he all of a sudden his arm became right, and
his
he could throw a
shoulder
deep
healed,
ball.
and he was all of a sudden throwing 60-yard bombs.
He was still throwing, at the most like 15-yard passes.
Yeah,
maybe a 20-yarder, but it was dink and dunk stuff. But he has enough athletes on that team that when they get the ball in their hands, they can make plays. And with Michael Thomas there, coverage sways towards him, more guys open up.
Not to mention when you're playing a defense that looked like Swiss cheese and looked like they had no interest in being there.
And their defense looked horrible, and fucking New Orleans defense, Malcolm Jenkins was unbelievable.
This is the thing. Like when you go against Tom Brady, even in the past, as soon as you hit him, and hit him repeatedly, you see it. Like he does. That dude does not like. I mean, no quarterback likes to get hit,
right?
That dude especially does not like to get hit.
Yeah.
And he looked, honestly, he looked old in the pocket. Like, usually he steps up into the pocket.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that game, he just, like, kept backing into, like, people around him. And it's just like, man, he just, like, that athleticism is just not there anymore.
Was it ever?
Well, you know what I mean. But
I know.
it's like now it's just like, it's
he
gone.
is the worst rushing quarterback of all time.
Yeah. But it just, it honestly, it looks sad. It did.
But, I mean, it goes week to week with him this year, too. Right. I mean, he looked old yesterday. Yeah. Drew Brees has looked old this season. Tom Brady's had some damn good games this year. It's so crazy this year. Like, I almost feel like what we talked about with college football is something that we kind of have to say about the NFL football. Is like you almost can't judge off of this year. It's so weird. And I don't even think maybe COVID has something to do with it with some teams, but not with other. I don't know. It's really strange. I mean, it's a bipolar football season. I can tell you that. It's insane.
Like
Dalvin Cook's still healthy. That alone is
right. Yeah, that's amazing.
But he wasn't. He was out for 2 games.
That's true. He was out for 2 games, and he's still second in the league.
He's leading the league in rushing.
Is he?
I thought.
I thought he was right behind Henry. I know him and Henry are within a couple of yards of each other.
Yeah, I thought he was first in.
He might be
in rushing. I could be wrong, but I know that. Yeah,
I
right.
know they're
both
1
right
and
there.
2.
And then you got like the Dallas Pittsburgh.
He's got Derrick Henry has a game on Dalvin.
Yeah, he does.
So,
yes, he does.
Then you got the Dallas Pittsburgh game, and I mean, that's the ultimate trap game for Pittsburgh, though.
100%.
Oh yeah,
you play your blood rival, and it goes down to the wire, and then you got to go play a terrible football team in Dallas on the road, and it's just like, how do you get up for that game? How?
Well, and
took him 2 quarters.
I think defensively, I think it took him 3.
Yeah, I think it took him 3.
It was late into that second half when they finally started playing.
And half of them had fucking COVID.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, they did not look good against Dallas, but again, I think it was more of like a trap game situation. I don't think they're a bad team or whatever.
No, but it's one of those games where when people judge off of one game, like we always say not to do, people will be like, "Oh, see, Pittsburgh isn't that good. They couldn't barely beat Dallas." And it's like, all right, well, first of all, like you said, they're coming off a rivalry game, which was a blood feud down to the last minute. And you're talking about them coming in to play Dallas, who everybody's going to overlook at this point because they're garbage.
Yep.
So they weren't blitzing much. They weren't pressuring the quarterback. They didn't really know what they had what they were going against in Gilbert because I mean he was an AFL player.
Yeah, he was.
Like they're like we don't even know what to expect from this guy.
It wasn't what was the guy last week? Di Giuseppe.
Yeah, something like that.
Dan DiNucci or Nick DiNucci or
D'Antonio? DiNucci? I think it was DiNucci.
No, it was not going to play the next week.
That's right. But it was just watching that game. And you're right. It's such a bipolar league this year.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I hate to blame COVID for it, but
Right.
I don't know what else to say because in this COVID year, it's like it's affecting these teams from week to week. It's just nuts. I don't know whether it's some of the regulations they have in the facilities, some of the like not being able to have certain meetings, not being able to have certain practices, workouts. I don't know what it is, but from week to week, and like you said, Frank, even sometimes quarter to quarter, it's insane to me.
Well, I mean, especially how hard is it right now to be a Chargers fan? Like, honestly.
Dude, if there is
How
one
hard is
fan
it to be a
base that I
Chargers
look
fan?
at and just go, guys, listen, like, I'm a Lions fan and I'm saying this to you, and I'm lying to you about it because we don't know this side of things.
Yeah.
But it gets better. Like, not for us, it doesn't get better.
like that
but
game
for everyone else, it does.
Like that game against the Raiders.
Oh man,
it's like. Are you kidding me?
I thought for sure that was it, and I was rooting for him too, not because it was the Raiders, but although
it was a good game.
Although
It was a good game.
Although seeing one of your teams lose does kind of bring me joy, but it was a really good game, and I root for Herbert so much right now that you just want to pull for the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing better in his first games than Patrick Mahomes did.
Yeah,
and numbers wise, he's better than Patrick Mahomes. And the only number he's not wins. That's it.
Of course.
That's it. But numbers wise, he's playing as good as Patrick Mahomes in their first number of games,
But I do think
which is insane.
But I do think we take that as an overrated stat. Wins. It is an overrated.
It
stat.
is because
it's
with
a team stat. It's not an individual player
Yeah,
stat.
I do agree with that. Although with quarterbacks, for some reason, they get ranked by wins more than they
Which
should.
is
to me, it's
dumb.
absurd,
Right.
but a lot of people like to do it. But if you look at the other numbers, he's with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And he does have rushing ability. He can escape the pocket, and he's shown he's proved me wrong. You were a Herbert guy.
I wasn't.
I wasn't as much of a Herbert guy.
Yeah.
But he's proved me wrong on the fact that I didn't think he was ready for the NFL. I thought he would need a year to be really ready. I thought he had the raw skills, but I thought he would need a year. He's proved me wrong. He's more than ready.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's actually, I feel bad for Tyrod, but he's lucky that they put a needle into Tyrod's lung, because if not, he wouldn't have been playing this year.
Tyrod actually got a shot on the 2-point conversion. I don't know how closely you guys are paying attention.
Yeah, I did. I saw
that.
Yeah.
Even looking at him too, like the fact that they're able to, and granted, I know they failed on the conversion, but the fact that you can go from the pro style quarterback like Herbert and then throw in somebody who's a little bit more of a wild card, like if you can figure out a coach who knows how to properly utilize that, you can do some things with that, and you don't have to make the kid do everything himself.
I'm not a fan of that though, because I'm not a fan. Even though New Orleans won doing that with Taysom Hill, they have lost just as many times by doing stupid shit like that, putting in Taysom Hill on these weird plays where Drew Brees isn't on the field, and despite the fact that Drew Brees is hitting 40, and despite the fact that he has cooked spaghetti for an arm, he's Drew Brees.
Yeah,
like you're pulling Drew Brees out of the game for Taysom Hill. Like that I just don't go along with that. I'm not one of those guys that likes when coaches do that kind of trick stuff and uses two quarterbacks and things like that, especially in the NFL. In college, sometimes it works,
in college,
and you can pull it off.
They do that
but I'm just in the NFL. I'm completely not a fan of that.
Okay,
and to me, Herbert can run. So like if you see him, he can run, and he's got an engine on him. So in my opinion. And I know what you're saying because a lot of teams use it, and I'm not dogging you for saying that.
I love the way New Orleans uses Taysom Hill, to be honest with you.
A lot of people do. I'm one of those rare people that I just look at it and I go, to me, it causes you more problems than it actually. Now, this last game, it did them well, but it doesn't always.
Say he had what, like 40 yards and a touchdown?
Yeah, there's other games where he comes in and he's 1 for 4 and has 5 yards rushing.
I'm talking receiving.
Oh yeah. Well, he can receive the ball too because he plays tight end.
Yeah, he can do everything.
Now, if you're putting him in those positions, that's fine. Yeah. But if you're having him take over for Drew Brees, I don't like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like to have Tyrod Taylor come in and have a trick play where you maybe toss it to him and he does an end around and then maybe he throws the ball or he runs it. That's one thing. But at least keep Herbert in there.
If you're down near the goal line and you want to do like a QB draw with him,
okay, or a wildcat, whatever, something like that.
All right, whatever. I don't have a problem with that.
But to keep switching them in and out like they do with Taysom Hill and Drew Brees, I'm just not a fan of that.
And I will say when they did it with Tyrod, Herbert, or it's Herbert, right?
Yeah,
he had just gotten hurt,
Yeah,
so
he
they
was-
were going to have to burn a timeout if they were going to put him back.
Yeah,
in.
it was after that touchdown. Yeah,
it was right after the touchdown.
But back to the original point of this, just
What?
just the young quarterbacks, the
Yeah.
young quarterbacks.
Yes.
Like this league is going to be fine with the young quarterbacks that,
Yes.
that have been drafted in the past like 3-4 years, give or take. you know.
That's really the big thing that I took out of this last weekend. Is I've had a lot of fun, and I took it out of this last weekend, but I'm taking it out of the season itself,
Right.
Because I've had a lot of fun watching these
Yeah.
quarterbacks this year.
Now, do I think it's an easier NFL to come into and be successful as a young quarterback? Absolutely,
Yes.
because the game is geared toward you having success.
Yeah,
game
you
is-
don't have guys like
Yes.
Warren Sapp anymore,
Right.
lining up 5 feet from.
Well, and even if you do,
Yeah.
the it's geared towards offense. So the penalties and everything is set up against the defense.
Right. Okay.
Whereas the offense has more ability to do things and to get more yards, to have better, longer pass plays. I mean,
Yep.
the pass interference calls I've seen and
Oh,
the roughing the passer
so
calls,
bad.
which we talked about last week. It's insane to me. You
Yeah.
like as a defensive player, you don't even know if you can hit somebody or
Right.
not. It's crazy. And you're right. The game is geared towards
yeah.
offense now, and it is an easier way to transition.
Like you have to be a special kind of bad to be a bad NFL quarterback. The way the game is now, the way the game is played now,
yeah,
like that takes talent to be a bad NFL quarterback right now. If you're anything below average, like
Yeah.
just stop. Like go wait for The Rock to start the XFL and go there, because honestly there's no excuse now for being a bad NFL quarterback, in my opinion.
I don't quite go that far. But because you also have to look at like Sam Darnold. I don't think Sam Darnold's a bad quarterback.
I don't think he is either.
I
but
think he's got Adam Gase as a head coach.
Well, that's fair.
That to me, if he was drafted by another team, a different team that had a little bit better O-line, or actually was able to build an O-line in front of him, that was able to put other weapons around him, I think he would be a damn good quarterback.
Like I look at Carson Wentz. That dude is a bad quarterback.
But he wasn't at first.
But he is now.
He is now.
But that's amazing to me.
Right.
Like, how are you a bad quarterback?
But
Here
but
was
again,
the question I had about him, though.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we went to Carson Wentz this week, because I was going to text you guys this and ask it, but I never did, so I'm glad I can ask you it now. Is Carson Wentz a bad quarterback, or is Carson Wentz at this point just afraid to get hurt?
that injury took something away from him.
Yeah.
That injury took something away from him. He's not the same guy he was before he got hurt.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's just afraid to get hurt again.
Like
but you can't play the game like
you
that.
can't.
Yeah,
you
but-
can't. But he is.
Yeah,
I understand
one
that,
thing
but-
that you've got to figure out.
But
how
if
to get
you're
over.
going to play the game like that, then
You might
that
as well
turns
not
you
play.
That turns you into a bad quarterback.
Right.
And you can't play the game like that. So I'll stick to my original point. He is a bad quarterback.
Okay.
Whether it's injuries or what, you look at Alex Smith. He looks just fine, even though he threw 3 picks this past weekend. But
I was gonna say no, he didn't look fine, bro.
well, but you know what I'm saying.
Washington might have won that game if it wasn't for
Yeah, you think-
Kyle Allen getting hurt.
Maybe
Because I don't think Kyle Allen.
that was another gruesome injury.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
Say what you want about Kyle Allen, and that maybe he shouldn't be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he definitely does not turn the ball over. He's not a guy that's going to make those mistakes.
Right.
He's not a guy that's going to go out and throw the ball for 300 yards and win you a game. But he's not going to make those mistakes. And if he plays that game, I don't think they lose that game, in my opinion. Alex Smith made some mistakes in that game that I don't think Kyle Allen would have. My opinion.
No,
It's going to happen being out for almost 2 years.
yeah.
And I like Alex Smith. I'm rooting
Yeah.
for the guy.
Oh,
I really
yeah, I
am.
think everybody
I'm not
is.
trying to dog him, but I mean, he didn't look good.
I think even Kyle Allen's rooting for him at this point. Like, you can't. There's nothing you can say against a guy coming back from an injury like that.
Kyle Allen has no choice but to root for him at this point because he's basically
Yeah.
Alex Smith 2
Whether-
years ago.
yeah, right.
At this point, yeah.
He's rooting for
missing
for
Dak.
Yeah,
He's Dak right now.
Yeah, he's rooting for Alex Smith because he knows next year he's going to be Alex Smith. He's going to try to make that comeback.
Now, going back to the young quarterbacks, one I want to bring up Patrick Mahomes, specifically his team. Now, watching this past weekend against the Panthers, do you feel they're slightly overrated?
Yes.
Yes,
Because you've seen it the past 3, 4, 5 weeks where
yes,
like teams have kind of got after him a little bit.
yeah. So that's tough, man.
And that Panthers team isn't anything special.
They're not. They've been playing better lately. Bridgewater's been playing better lately.
Right.
They just got Christian McCaffrey back, which makes them a totally different team on offense. With that being said, I think Kansas City's defense has been a little bit overrated. I think they came back down to earth a little bit. And I think teams have started to figure out some of the play calling of Andy Reid. I think they've figured out some of those. And Andy Reid's another one. He tries to put too many trick plays in there.
Yeah.
You have so many good players on offense, man. If you notice, when they stick to just calling offensive plays and not doing that trick bullshit, not doing that weird gimmicky stuff. Tyreek Hill, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Travis Kelce, you got Mecole Hardman, you have Le'Veon Bell, you have the Edwards-Helaire. You've got guys on that team.
You got Sammy Watkins.
You got
one
Sammy
of the
Watkins,
fastest dudes
but
I've seen.
He's hurt, but
well, yeah, he's hurt right now. But you have one of the fastest guys I've seen opposite one of the fastest guys I've ever seen.
Right.
Well, and then the guy who fills in for Sammy Watkins, Mecole Hardman, is one of the fastest guys I've ever seen.
Right.
So
except all of them can catch the ball too.
Right, and you've got Travis Kelce, who's like,
arguably the best tight end in football.
Right, arguably it's either him or Kittle. And I think Kittle's better overall, but I think Kelsey's a better receiving. If you're just looking at offense, I think Kelsey's better. And like how you or why you have to do trick plays out of that, I don't understand. Just stick to your offense, call your plays, don't use the gimmicks, and they've shown what they can do. I mean, nobody can stop them when they're on their game.
No.
On offense. The defense needs to come back around a little bit. They took a step back this last week. But again, CMC has a big thing to do with that too.
Right. I do think that when they played the Patriots, was that week 2, week 3? When Cam had COVID?
Mm-hmm.
I do think
3, I think, yeah.
It was I do think
week 3.
I do think that has played somewhat of a role in how teams are defending the Chiefs now. Because I think they kind of looked at that blueprint that Belichick laid out and said, okay, I mean, we're probably not going to do it as well as Belichick did it, but we're going to do some semblance of what he did. And I think to this point, it's working. Now, Andy Reid, I'm sure, is going to figure out a way around this. Because the dude's just a good coach. Just flat out, he's a good coach.
There's no way around
But
that.
I do agree with you that he does too many trick plays and all that nonsense. He needs to stop doing that. You got arguably the best quarterback in the league, dude. Just let him do what he does. Like, honestly.
Let him do his thing,
and
man.
you got weapons who all have like track star speed and can catch the ball. You don't need this trick bullshit. Stop it. And I think you'll be fine.
You can literally just out-talent teams.
And you've got the equivalent of Thor running down the middle of the field
right.
with Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
like,
It's actually
come on.
a good comparison.
That's pretty solid. I like that. That's well played.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, man, just you can pick and choose who you want to fucking throw the ball to.
Exactly. You have so many weapons at your disposal. It's just there's no need to do all the trick plays and whatnot. But that's just. I think they'll be fine. Obviously, they're going to be a contender to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're 8-1. Like,
right.
Even if they are overrated, that's still a damn good record.
You know what's not overrated?
What's that?
That it's a great time now to purchase a home or even refinance your existing home. I call my guy Jason Stiltner at Flagstar Bank. He'll give you the top-notch service that you're looking for. Flagstar, they're currently offering a 0% down home purchase program. However, the program won't last long, but the rates, they're incredibly low. So give my guy, Jason Stiltner, a call today at 248-675-0675. Trust me, you don't want to miss this great opportunity. The number again is 248-675-0675. Flagstar Bank is an equal housing lender, member FDIC, and MLS number 27546.
Well done, buddy.
Thanks for setting me up. Good job. Good job on your part.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Did either of you guys watch the Notre Dame game?
I watched about 5 minutes of it.
About 5 minutes?
Because they say we were talking about earlier. I was at a buddy's house,
right.
eating alligator, which was delicious, by the way. If you've ever had alligator,
I have never had alligator.
Oh, it's amazing. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
I may have to try that. No, the only reason I ask, and we talked about it a little bit before the game had started up.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Nothing.
Nothing?
And the game, I told you how the game would play out,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
played out the exact way I told you it would play out.
It's going to be a close game. The only reason the Irish had a shot at winning, which they ended up, was the fact that Trevor Lawrence wasn't playing.
See, I don't necessarily think that's the case, though.
You don't?
How that game ended up playing out, kind of like watching the highlights of it, no. Because Clemson's defense played like shit.
Okay.
So even if you have Trevor Lawrence, and he's going to put up the same numbers that the backup did.
I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the kid's fucking name, but their quarterback, Clemson's quarterback, he was damn near perfect.
Yeah, he was good. So I don't think it would have mattered if you had him or Trevor Lawrence on the field.
Okay.
But obviously in the standings, it really doesn't mean much.
I was going to say Notre Dame jumped to 2. It just puts you in
Clemson went to
position
4.
again to be slaughtered by
so,
Alabama.
So they're going to play again in the ACC championship game if they both continue on the same path.
Yep.
All right, great.
That'll be a game.
In the ACC championship game?
Yeah.
Yeah, should be a good one, I would think. But ultimately, it really didn't do anything.
Okay.
And then going into college football this week, arguably the biggest game of any year is Auburn, Alabama, or Alabama, LSU, which is canceled or postponed, I should say, because of COVID.
PPD.
It's just, this is the problem with the college football, especially the college football season this year. This is why we've been talking about this just being kind of like just a bastardized season. It's like, even if they do end up playing this game, it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. So yeah, they do end up playing, and whoever wins will probably go to the playoff, go to the SEC championship game at least.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, okay, great. Like, might as well just put an asterisk next to it. Like,
okay.
I don't know. It just doesn't. Yeah, I'm gonna watch because I love watching college football. But
and honestly, like some of these games have been really good games.
Even
if they're not what they should have been, they have been pretty decent games.
Right. But even they're gonna play later in the season, and it's just like, okay, I would much rather them just. I don't want to say like cancel the season because I think you're too far into it now to do that.
I agree.
But, these kids have been working their ass off to actually play a season, so I think taking that away from them would be just a terrible idea. But
yeah,
it just doesn't. I don't know. It's not doing much for me. Like,
okay.
I don't. Alabama will probably win the Natty again, and it's just kind of like, all right,
that's what they do.
Great. So it's sad, but it's just factual, unfortunately.
It's the way the world is right now.
Yeah.
And like we've discussed a few different times, like your priorities have kind of shifted in life. You kind of realize what is and isn't as important. And the fact that we've got, an attempt at a season, and we've all said it a million times, we appreciate it, but at the same time,
it's just
not important.
It's just slightly off.
Yeah.
Like that would be a big game. You're like, hell yeah, I want to watch that. It's gonna be prime time, whatever.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I want to watch that. Now, even if they play it, it's kind of like, if I watch it, cool.
And that's why I asked about the Notre Dame Clemson game, because I was getting myself revved up for that.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, like we got a shot at number 1, even if this is a bullshit season. Like,
right.
Let's fucking go. Let's see what happens.
But that just shows you, like, going back to all the way back to the beginning of the show, talking about Michigan. That just shows you how far away Michigan is. It does.
It does. I mean, that's definitely not that sigh or huff, whatever you want to call it, was definitely not a situation where I wanted to argue with you. It was just one of those things that it's almost a relief for me to hear that from you guys. I mean, granted,
it's factual.
It is, and that's the thing. Like, but again, we've discussed a million times before. Your traditional slappy fan, in this case, Michigan, they don't own that.
No, they don't.
So the fact that there is
arrogance.
people being realistic at this point, going, okay, we're just not what we think we are. It's just a relief for me to hear that from people.
However, I will say I'm gonna dog out the ACC. When Notre Dame came begging, I would have told them to get fucked. I would have absolutely told them to get fucked.
I think we all agreed on that.
100%. You know what? You made your bed. Fucking lie in it. Sorry.
And I want to see what they're going to do
and
for
Pat
the post-game stuff.
Pat Narduzzi came out this past week and said that after the Clemson Notre Dame game. He's like, I think it's a joke that they're in our conference right now. It's an absolute disgrace.
It's hard to disagree with it.
And I 100% agree with them because you shouldn't just pick and choose when you want to play in a conference. It's like, come on, dude.
And you up and beat number 1 Clemson. That's great. You rush the field. Any other school right now is getting discipline from their conference for doing shit like that.
Right.
We just gonna let Notre Dame walk away? No, don't do that. You don't want them to walk away from you, so you're like, oh, we're not going to do anything. Hopefully they'll stick around. They're not sticking around.
It depends on who you are as to whether you're going to get shit for being in a crowd or not these days. It doesn't matter. It's like it depends on what school you are. It depends on what person you are. Sometimes crowds are okay. Sometimes crowds aren't. Sometimes you're like it's
why you get news like Justin Turner flying completely under the radar, where the MLB is like, no, we're not going to do anything, even if the guy just tested positive and then ran and hugged all his teammates.
But we know Rob Manfred's a fucking disgrace.
Right.
So I'm not even when that happened, I was like, he's not going to get anything for that because Rob Manfred, if he didn't punish the Astros, he's not going to punish this fucking guy.
Right.
That's true.
Well, and at that point, the season was over with. So technically.
Yeah. I mean, they could have given him
they could have done something, but in reality, you're looking at it as they don't really have authority over him anymore. The season was over. You can't tell him he can't go back on the field. I mean, do I think he should have? Probably not. But if the rest of his teammates didn't have a problem with it and were like, yeah, come on out, man, fuck it.
I mean, you're right about the 2-week point at this point, and it doesn't sound like anybody else has tested positive, so he got away with one there.
And what's to say it wasn't a false positive test?
I mean, shit, dude. We talked
about
it a few weeks ago. Like, my brother and my father, we thought at one point had tested, and my father's ended up being a false positive. It's happening like crazy with people.
How many have done that in the NFL? There's been quite a few in the NFL that have been false positives.
And I mean, the NFL, where they need to get a little bit clearer, in my opinion. Not that this needs to be a topic, but the NFL needs to get clear when they put a guy on the COVID list if it's for COVID, or for trace contact.
But they usually tell you. I mean, they don't when they designate them in the designation. It doesn't say it,
right?
But usually they say, the teams say,
okay,
it's because of trace contact. Matt Stafford, I could have told you guys as soon as he got put on there, he was going to be able to play for Sunday because it was for trace contact. As long as he tested negative all the way up until Sunday,
he's got to test.
He was going to play
5 straight times.
My buddy Sam, who has him in our big fantasy league, he texted me. He's like, so if I put him on COVID, does that mean I can pick up another guy? Whatever. And I was talking to him. All rules aside, I said, it doesn't matter. He's going to play on Sunday because he's only on COVID for the COVID list for. Right. Being a trace contact, he doesn't have it. He didn't test positive for it. So as long as he tests negative, he'll play on Sunday.
Like you look in Pittsburgh right now, they've got 4 guys.
Roethlisberger's one of them.
Roethlisberger's on the list.
That was for trace contact.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But the positive test was Vance McDonald.
Yeah.
So Vance has it. I was listening to an interview earlier. Vance is sitting next to Ben in the locker room. He is sitting next to Ben on the plane. He is sitting at that point. Yeah, Ben's going to get a positive test, it sounds like. But at the same time, if Vance McDonald's ends up being a false positive, then all 4 guys are perfectly fine.
Exactly. Exactly. And even then, we've known of cases where guys were in the rooms with other people many, many times with COVID. Not a single other player got it.
Yep.
David Tyrell from Atlanta, beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He tested positive for COVID. Not a single other fucking player on the team tested positive. And you tell me he wasn't around any one of those motherfuckers?
Right.
He was around nobody? Nobody liked that kid? Nobody was around him?
I don't like him. Fuck that guy. I don't fucking like him.
Nobody liked that kid?
Tell the truth.
Nobody went to his birthday party?
Oh. There it is. Solid draft day reset.
Well, tell me nobody went to his birthday party?
I was just going to say, tell me the truth. Nobody went to his birthday party?
Bo Callahan sucks.
Bo Callahan sucks.
Actually, on that note, not that this has anything to do with anything, but it is a funny little tidbit. The other day I was watching Draft Day because when I'm in the mood to, I just like watching that movie because it's so bad but so good at the same time.
So, I could not agree with you more.
I think that's a perfect way to describe that movie.
I could not agree with you more.
So I went onto the NFL's website, their shop website, and I decided I was going to order myself a Vontae Mack jersey.
Okay.
Because it's the same Cleveland Browns jersey at this point.
No, it's different. They changed it this year.
They changed it this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's a different jersey.
Then hopefully you can still get the old one.
Yeah.
But fuck me. This is what I get for just bringing up a topic off the top of my head and doing no research.
You and buying jerseys, it just does not work well for you.
It doesn't work out well.
I was just sitting at home and I was like, is it time to get rid of this AB jersey or do I actually need to keep this fucking thing? Like since the day he left Oakland at that point, I can't make up my mind if I want to keep this thing or just toss it.
You need to frame that bitch.
But anyways, back to the Vontae Mack jersey. There is actually a guy on the team right now, and Joe may know this. He is our resident
Super fan.
Brown super fan.
Brown super
Whose
fan.
last name is Mac?
No, his first name is Mac.
Oh, Mac Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, wears number 51, which was Vontae Mac's
shit.
number. But you can't get the jersey
With his
because
first name
it's
on
his
it.
first name. So I can't customize a jersey to say Mac 51 because it's the guy's first name.
That's fucking. That's stupid. You can't tell him like that's my name. Like I can't. I want to get my name on it. Like what the fuck? That's
I was
stupid.
just really disappointed when I saw that.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty dumb. But what are you gonna do? That's what it is.
I'm going to bitch about it to you guys. That's
sounds
exactly
like-
what
fair
I'm
enough.
doing.
Sounds like you're not going to buy a jersey,
Yeah.
is what it sounds like.
I'm definitely not going to be
I
able to
think
get a Vontae Mac jersey now.
I think you need to stay away from buying jerseys. You just have incredibly bad luck with those things.
I mean, I've had the Abram jersey now for like 4 weeks, and nothing bad's happened so far.
Not yet.
Give it time.
It's like I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
I'm going to knock on wood here.
Nice office reference. Nice office reference. Frank hasn't made it that part.
He has not made it to that part, I don't think.
He
No,
hasn't
I'm
made it
still,
to that season
still
yet.
stuck on season 4.
All right.
I started NCIS Los Angeles the other day. I'm probably not even going back to the office.
Oh, good lord.
Wow.
How old are you?
64.
Hey, I heard Blue Bloods is really good.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Donnie Wahlberg.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry. It's got LL Cool J. It's a decent show.
He's got like I know he's got 60 minutes on a DVR and shit like that.
Chicago Fire is pretty good.
I do have 20/20, but not 60 minutes.
There you go.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership looking for an automobile or a boat? Yep, I'm going right into it. Get in touch with Land NC Motorsports. They specialize in finding you the car, truck, or boat that you are in the market for. At Land NC Motorsports, tell them the type of vehicle and features you want that will fit your budget. They will also offer shrink wrapping and winterization for all boats and jet skis. If your boat or vehicle need any repairs or cleaning, or you simply just can't stop laughing, they offer a full detail division as well. So give them a call at 586-484-9798 or visit their website at landncmotorsports.com. That's landncmotorsports.com.
I'm sorry, Landon C. I'm sorry, Landon C. Motorsports. But that was the worst transition.
I was sick of being made fun of.
He's like,
No, fuck this. I'm doing it.
We're done.
Fuck it,
We're
we'll
done.
do it
We're going
live.
right into this.
fuck it, we're going live.
We said beforehand we knew this one was going to go off the rails at some point.
Fuck it, we're going live.
Sorry, I went rogue.
We're going live. Fuck it.
I went rogue.
That was awesome.
Frank's just like, I'm doing Landon C. Fuck it.
I think it's the perfect time to go into the picks.
Fuck you guys, I'm reading this.
All right.
I don't want to hear anything
I
anymore.
just want to give myself a pat on the back for being able to go through the whole thing without fucking it up while you two were just laughing like hyenas.
That was actually
Yeah.
pretty solid. I
Yeah.
give you props on that, Frank. That was
yeah, I'm
pretty
sorry. I could not
No,
stop
I just-
laughing.
Literally, it was just like
I bet that migraine feels fucking wonderful
Oh,
right
no,
now.
it doesn't, but that was worth it, though. Wow.
yeah, that was solid.
With that being said,
If
Yes.
you've had plumbing problems, you're definitely not alone. The next time you have an issue, there's only one place to call. Go to Pro Plumbing. They're a local family-owned company with 15 years of experience. Based in Centerline, they serve the Metro Detroit areas, keeping your pipes clean and flowing with fair prices and happy customers. They're open 7 days a week for all your plumbing needs. The knowledgeable and experienced staff will keep you informed of their progress every step of the way to make your experience as smooth as possible. Call Go To Pro Plumbing today at 586-250-2881. That's 586-250-2881. Go To Pro Plumbing. When your pipes won't flow, call the pro.
It's time!
NFL picks.
it's time for NFL picks. Coming live from SOT Detroit Studios.
Right. So last week, you gentlemen went 5-2. I went 4-3. So, all right.
It's a hell of a lot better than I thought I did.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, I think in your text message, in the text message, you said you went like 3-3 or something, or you said you weren't.
No,
sure
that
yet.
was earlier. I thought I went 3-3, but
What did you say in the text messages?
I thought I had only gotten one right at
Oh,
that point.
yeah. You said you thought you only got one right. Yeah.
No,
Because I knew I had shit the bed on the Buffalo game.
Yes, did I?
Oh, you both did.
The entire world shit the bed on the fucking Tampa
yes.
New Orleans
Yeah,
game.
pretty much.
So yeah, I'm sitting there going, "Oh, I'm done for." And then I looked at it and went, okay, maybe it wasn't terrible, but
5-2's solid.
5-2 is pretty solid.
Solid week.
The ones I was wrong on, though, I was wrong.
Yeah. Yes. Well, you didn't pick the Lions this past week, so at least you got that going for you.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I'll pick them again.
Well, let's start it out. Thursday. Colts, Titans.
To be honest with you with this one, I can't really decide. You've got...
Well, the whole point of this is for you to decide.
So this is called NFL picks.
Are you tired of going from dealership to dealership?
We pick. That's what we do, Frank.
I was going to go through this whole thing, but find the Titans.
That's kind of the point of this.
See, what do we do? What the fuck are we doing here? That's...
Trying to create dialogue.
I mean, I knew where you were going, but then he goes, "Well, it's kind of the fucking point."
Holy shit!
Oh,
What are we-
Chris, I'm gonna let you go next.
I'm also
man.
going to go with the Tennessee Titans. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a game.
I was gonna say just no conversation. Titans,
Titans.
go.
Derrick Henry, I think, is going to have a game.
That's all you're getting from me the rest of the time.
Just a pick. She's just gonna shout a name out.
He's going to sit here in silence.
He's gonna have NFL picks Tourette's.
Oh.
He's just gonna shout out names.
I think he should. That'd be fucking funny.
Fun part is you guys don't think I will.
Jaguars!
Oh shit. Well, I'll give you a little talking into this one. Looking at the way these two teams match up, it's basically night and day. You've got Tennessee's offense, who is ranked near the top in the league, going against Indianapolis's defense, which has Indianapolis.
Never heard of him.
Who? Against Indianapolis's defense, which is very towards the top 5 in the league. And then vice versa, which Indianapolis's offense is middle of the road, but Tennessee's defense is near the bottom. So when you look at it like that, it's a tough game to choose. I know where you're going with that one, Frank. I'm still going to take Tennessee. I don't trust Indianapolis, and I don't trust Phillip Rivers.
You don't trust Uncle? I definitely don't trust that dude to pull out. But
You were going to call him Uncle. He ain't Uncle Phil.
right?
Yeah.
That man is daddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't trust Phil to pull out or to throw very well anymore
No.
either. So
Let's move on to the Bills and Cardinals.
Cards.
Okay, dynamite drop in.
I knew that was coming.
I did too.
I
Honestly,
knew it was coming.
I can kind
I
of
knew
see
it was
it.
coming. Frank, did you want to add some more actual insight to it?
No.
Cards.
All right. This one actually is another tough one. I really am having a hard time deciding between these two. I like both teams a lot, actually. We know my affinity for Kyler Murray and what kind of a quarterback he is. And I picked Josh Allen at the beginning of the season to be a front runner for MVP.
Yep.
I love both these kids, man. They just go out and play the game. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game.
I do.
I think I have to give the edge to Buffalo.
I am also going to take the Bills. I think this is the first time I've actually picked the Bills out of any game that we've picked this year, where I've actually picked my team to win. So I'm going to take the Bills. I think this past week, Josh Allen kind of got his swagger back a little bit. The defense didn't look great, but I think it looked better. They got after Russell Wilson a little bit, forced him into a lot of 4 turnovers. I think he ended up having a fumble and three picks.
Yeah.
So
His stats did not look very good until about the fourth quarter.
Right. So I think Buffalo, hopefully their defense got its swagger back as well. That would be nice. Maybe they can get a little pressure on Kyler Murray and take home the W. I'm going with the Bills. Frank is,
and I will tell you about that Seattle defense. I tried to tell you guys
bad.
they're very suspect. The only thing that holds that team together is Russ, and Russ makes them. Russ is like spackle on a wall. He makes them look. He does. He makes them look way better.
It's
than
like
they
Flex
actually
Seal?
are. Yeah, he makes them look way better than they are because they have a lot of holes on that team, and it eventually comes to the surface and shows.
I would agree with that. Moving on to speaking of the Sea Chickens, the Sea Chickens and Rams.
Oh, Frank.
Rams.
Whoa!
Wow!
I think this is the first time he's picked against the Sea Chickens.
It is. He said he would never pick against Russ, and then Russ loses a game for him, and he automatically turns on him.
Wow! It's amazing. Amazing he doesn't jump off the Lions bandwagon that quick.
First of all, I made it very clear that I was never on the Seattle bandwagon.
No, but you said
you were on the Russell Wilson bandwagon.
I was on the Russ bandwagon.
You said you were never picking against Russell Wilson.
I don't know what happened this weekend. Just the fact that Buffalo was able to expose every hole in that fucking defense.
So what I've been trying to tell you guys for the first 8 weeks of the season, actually, you realized was actually true?
Because it finally happened.
Yeah, well, it happened against Arizona, too.
Okay, well, I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, that was a good game, too, by the way. Russ looked better in that game than he did this last game. I'm going to go with Russ in this game. I just don't trust that Rams team. They don't have much of an identity. I don't know whether they're a throwing team, are they a running team. Henderson's look pretty good for them, but they also give the ball to Brown every once in a while. I just don't know what their identity is. I don't think they know what it is. I think Seattle comes out and their defense is going to play good enough for the Rams offense, and Russ goes to town.
I'm also going to go with the Seahawks. I think they're going to have a bounce-back week, especially I think that defense was embarrassed this past week. And I think Russell Wilson was embarrassed this past week. Yeah. So he's not going to let that happen 2 weeks in a row. And plus, I hate Jared Goff. I do.
I'm not a fan.
I think 2 years ago, if Jared Goff's the quarterback of that Rams team against the Patriots, if anybody besides Jared Goff is the quarterback of that team,
they probably win.
They probably win that game. So Jared Goff, especially for what he's getting paid, is arguably the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. So I'm gonna, for that that reason, along with the other ones I've mentioned, I'm gonna go with the Sea Chickens.
I think you're right in that.
Let's go to this battle of heavyweights: the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears.
Ooh, this is a good one.
In what universe?
On the frozen tundra of
Soldier Field.
There
you go.
There you
the
go.
Spaceship that is Soldier Field now. Yes.
Man, I hate picking either one of these teams really, but I mean I can't take the Bears. The Bears are just bad. I don't know how the hell they have a 5-4 record and the Vikings have a 3-5 record, other than the fact that like the Bears just got lucky in some games. I got to take Minnesota in this game.
If you want
if they hand the ball to Dalvin Cook, just hand them. I know the Bears' defense is good. Just turn around, hand the ball to Dalvin Cook. Just do that for me, and then you can win this game. That's it.
My honest opinion, there's only one winner from this game, and that's Green Bay. Because both of those teams are such fucking garbage. The only one who gets anything from this game is the fact that one of them gets another loss that Green Bay doesn't have to worry about making up for.
Right.
Yep.
With that being said, I expect that loss is going to come to Chicago, so I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Good pick.
I am also going to go with the Vikings. Just watching the Chicago Bears team, especially offensively, their offense is offensive. It's honestly one of the worst offenses I've ever seen.
I think
it's not even the worst one this year.
I think Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles hates his coach.
Yeah, I would.
Like I really truly believe he hates Matt Nagy. I think he dislikes him a lot. At least
at this point, there's no way he retires satisfied with his career, because he was a backup every time he succeeded.
Yeah.
And any time he started, he was a complete failure.
I have a feeling that Trubisky will finish this game.
Okay.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, but just watching that, they're as bad as Trubisky is, but if you look at their numbers, him and Foles, they're very similar numbers, which people don't want to realize that, but it's a fact.
Oh, it's a fact.
Their numbers are very similar. But there's just certain things Trubisky can do that Foles can't.
Yeah,
there's certain
with
plays.
his legs.
Exactly.
Yeah, he can extend plays. He can throw on the run a little bit. He can run.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree, and I don't think Trubisky's a good quarterback by any means,
No.
but I also think he gets a little too much heat for being a really bad quarterback. He's not awful.
It's just because of where he was drafted and what
I
it
agree.
took to get him.
It's
As simple as that.
right. It's where he was drafted. They traded up to get him,
Yep.
and it's the fact that he went in the same draft with Mahomes
Yep.
and Watson.
Yep.
It's he went to Chicago, which they really aren't a great team all around. They haven't built a great offense around him. He's
Yeah.
got bad coaching there, so I think he takes a lot of heat that's not necessary. I'm not saying he's good, but he's good enough that he should be starting right now.
Yeah, so for those reasons, and just I think it'll be a closer game than people think, but I think Dalvin Cook is just gonna. I think he's gonna continue doing what he's been doing the past few weeks and just run wild.
He's insane.
And hopefully Kirk Cousins doesn't fuck it up for him.
Yeah, just turn around and hand the ball, bro.
Let's move on to the Chargers and Dolphins, which I didn't think we'd be picking, but I'm kind of glad we did. The more I thought about it, yeah, I think this is going to be a really good game.
This is going to be a really good game. That's why I really wanted it on our pick list.
Yep.
I know the Chargers are 2-6, but they're an exciting 2-6.
Yep.
Herbert.
Oh, we should be this record.
Yeah,
no, you should stop it.
You shouldn't be. You could have been, but you should be what you are, and you're 2-6. The problem is you haven't been able to get the late game heroics to go your way. Herbert looks like he's the real fucking deal. And if they can get anything on that offense to go around him, they're going to be great. Eckler's been out for a while. When he comes back, I can't wait to see those two guys together with this offense clicking. Tua, my guy, looked really good last week. They're playing at home. The way this game matches up to me is it kind of all leans towards the Chargers, in my opinion. But Miami's just kind of a team of destiny right now. And I'm going to go with Miami and my boy Tua. It's kind of I hate picking football picks from the heart, and not from the mind, not from the gut. This one is one that I'm picking against my will. I got to go with my boy Tua, man. I pick with my heart.
I'm also going to go with the Dolphins.
Wow.
Tua did impress me. I'm not a Tua guy.
I know you're not,
but he impressed me. I know it's he's played like a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever. But he what he did this past week against Arizona really impressed me, and just with all the losses that the Chargers have had, especially this season, at some point it's got to take it out of you, man. And you just like
that last one was wrong.
Yeah, especially this last one when you thought you had the game won.
They were celebrating,
right? And now you got to go across the country to go play the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins.
Put it down as a sweep.
Wow.
You know what? The whole time, the only thing I was going to add that you guys haven't already hit on, it's going to be another heartbreaker. I just feel like
I can see that.
San Diego, LA, whatever their fucking name is at this point.
The Chargers.
It has just been a season of getting their hearts ripped out.
Yeah, and I said, I think at some point,
and when it happens,
just like,
it just keeps happening.
Right.
Now I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
The only thing I can say is I really do think this is going to be a fun game to watch. If you have a chance to watch this, or if you have Red Zone, please tune in, because I think this game is going to be a really fun one. It's going to be exciting.
Let's go the Ravens and Patriots.
This one might be a dud, honestly. I think
it may be.
It's two teams that can either go out and lay an egg or look really, really well.
Yep.
And the Patriots have looked really bad lately. The Ravens are just constantly up and down, man. It's a tough matchup as far as trying to figure out which team is going to show up from which team. Let's see. You got New England at home, and the Ravens are giving up 7 traveling to New England, which is a big line.
That's a really big line.
Now again, road doesn't mean too much in COVID years, in the COVID year, but I am going to lean. I'm going to take Baltimore in this one. I think the Patriots will come back around. I think they've shown a little bit of life. COVID Cam, and then I know I started saying that as a joke, and I put it as my put it as my team name in a fantasy league.
Nice.
But he hasn't been the same since he got back from COVID. This last week, I didn't actually watch much of the game, but I did watch some of the highlights and things. He looked a little better. He didn't look great. He looked a little better.
Yeah.
I think he might be coming around, so he might keep this game a little closer than people think. But I'm going to take Baltimore.
That's an easy choice. Baltimore. I'm not that I'm hopping off the bandwagon, as I was accused of earlier.
All right.
I don't see anything going well right now in New England. The only win they're going to take away from this season is the fact that they have the fourth most room in salary cap going into next year.
And they do too, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, I want to say it's like $72 million that they have.
73.
73. Okay.
I think.
Sorry, I was off by.
You're off by that $1 million, man. No, I think I saw the numbers. The reason I said that I wasn't trying to correct you. I think it really is 73.
I was just giving you shit.
I'm also going to go with Baltimore. Just like we talked earlier in the show, I do think the Patriots are trying to sneaky tank. I really do. And so if obviously Belichick's done what he's done in his career, and it's amazing and outstanding. But the dude's a genius when it comes to stuff like this.
But my question with that also, and knowing that they have $73 million in salary cap space, is he intentionally tanking, or did he intentionally assemble a really bad team, knowing that they just weren't going to compete?
I think it's one and the same, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think he tanked, but he did it in that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he let some people walk. I think he got rid of some people.
He knew they weren't going to be that good this year.
Yeah, he's not an idiot, man. He and even getting Cam, you know how long he waited to get Cam? I mean, he waited forever.
Yeah.
To
he literally let everyone take a shot at getting him before he even tried to.
So I mean, it was
from what I've heard, and you'll know more than me, they've also soured on Stidham.
Yes, and that's why he eventually signed Cam.
Jason Statham? What?
Yeah, yeah.
Might as well be.
That's why they eventually signed Cam, is because he did start to sour on Stidham, and as much as Brian Hoyer is Belichick's guy for being a backup.
Right. Good Lord.
But I
He's
mean,
still injured.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where he couldn't just go into the season knowing that.
Right.
He signed Cam, made it look like he was going for it, and then I think he basically was going to play it out. If Cam came out and looked lights out and was playing lights out, then he was going to go for it.
Yeah.
And he was going to prove that, okay, I can get this done without Tom Brady. Once he got COVID and is now looking like dog shit, basically he's like, all right, well, we're going to ride this out and try to get a top pick and see what we can do with this, and
close the book on the year
and build this team
see
back.
what we can
I mean,
do.
he's a smart guy. He went in thinking he had the opportunity to possibly get a high pick, but then also possibly go for it. He wanted to see what he got. Once the cards started playing out, he decided which way he was going to go.
And I think it's a smart way that he went about
I
it.
agree
Absolutely.
with you. I agree with you.
And now the biggest game of the week, I don't care what anybody says, your Detroit Lions versus the Football Club of Washington, whatever the fuck they're called, the stupidest fucking name in sports history.
The football team.
Yeah, that game.
The Washington, the football team.
Stupid.
They play the football.
I will take the football team.
You're not taking the Lions against the football team.
No.
What
No,
is wrong?
I am not.
What is wrong with you?
As I told you guys before, I'm not going to say I've completely given up on this team, but for this season I have. They walked into the last 2 weeks, and I think it was 3 weeks ago we discussed it. They had a gravy schedule coming up.
There's no such thing as a gravy schedule for the Detroit Lions. Ever.
Which has been proven at this point. But in the big picture of the NFL this year,
yes,
they weren't even playing many winning teams the rest of the year. So looking at it, I kind of got, I'm not going to say hyped up on it, but I got excited that, hey, maybe we got 1 or 2 more wins in here somewhere. And then watching the last 2 weeks, like, not that I watched a whole bunch of the Minnesota game, but
right,
there's nothing there. Like, it's just the shell of a team that still tries occasionally to put up points.
Do you know how this game would look a lot better?
If it wasn't both of these teams playing?
If it wasn't on television?
No, if it
I'd be all right with that.
If the Lions by chance had a chance to draft somebody like Tua or Herbert.
Wait, they didn't. They didn't they?
Wait, did they?
I think
no,
they
you know
did.
what? They did have a chance to draft both
Weird.
of those guys.
Weird.
And instead they went with Okuda.
Oh, so you need to hit a drop right there.
So
first.
that's my bad.
You fucked
yeah,
up on that one.
I can't do it right now.
You know
but
how he is
yeah,
with multitasking.
this game would look a lot better because, first of all, it looks like your quarterback has checked the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
your
He looked like he checked out like 3 years ago.
You're 3-5. So at that point in time, you be playing your future quarterback.
You can't even have the right amount of guys on the fucking field.
So yeah, that's. I'm just going to keep pointing out that they could have drafted Tua or Herbert and decided to go with Okudah, who hasn't looked very good. A number 3 overall corner.
That's just a bad pick.
What did I say
Yes.
when that pick happened? You don't draft a corner at number 3 overall. And of course, I got lit up by all the Lion fucking slapdicks out there who decided to say, "Oh, he was the best pick they could take. There's no way they should have taken Tua. He's too injury prone.
False.
Shouldn't take Herbert. Blah 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 blah." Okay, and
Having the ability to sit Tua this year, and you and I discussed it more than enough times.
Yep.
I was in favor of the Okudah pick. I didn't love it, but I
can't-
was in favor of it.
Unless you're Deion Sanders, you don't take a cornerback that fucking high.
I
Which
could not
at this
say
point,
that
I'm being proven very, very wrong on it.
Like,
But
that dude is
I-
a game changer.
I will say I was texting with my brother last night, and I did kind of steer into what you had said the whole time, and that was the fact that they should have drafted Tua. You had the ability to sit him, allow him to get healthy, allow him to get to the point where he's at now. Yeah, this week you could easily throw him in there with a 3-5. You said,
Yeah.
a 3-5 team going against Washington. It's a nothing game. You could at least get people to watch the game, thinking that they had a shot at watching the future of this team.
Yep. Give them something to look forward to, and now they've got nothing to look forward to. I'm taking Washington. And I hope Washington kicks their fucking ass.
Who is Alex Smith starting?
Yes.
Give me the football club, whatever the fuck they're called. Yeah, give me those guys.
Washington.
We just unanimously selected a one-legged quarterback to beat the Lions.
We chose
It's the Lions.
We chose a football team.
Whatever.
Listen,
Yeah.
you cannot.
I'll choose a cardboard cutout against the fucking Lions.
Right?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Can I
Give
choose?
me a jugs machine.
Can I choose the Lions
Whatever.
to beat the Lions?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Because that might actually happen.
I think I'll choose the
That's
bye
what
week.
happens every week.
I'll choose the bye week to beat the Lions. I don't give a shit.
Right. Yeah. I
think you both did.
And that is the picks.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's our picks. So we're at the end of the show, fellas.
Yes.
We appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in. Thanks for watching and listening to the live show. Thank you to everybody who listens to our podcast. We're on every podcast platform you can think of.
Yeah, share it with other people too.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
check us out on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook,
Twitch.
Twitch. Check out SOTDET.com. We have blogs, we have fantasy stats, fantasy insight. Again, that's SOTDET.com. And we will see you next week. Peace.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No. Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
You were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.